Well, hey there, guys. Hope you guys are doing okay here so far. Just got done a little bit ago uh, posting the uh, Power Performance Index, and I wanted to do something like right after that where I wanted to look at just how crazy. I mean, normally, when you do a Power Performance Index or a Power Rankings or anything like that, it's normally pretty easy to know, who's at the top, and who's at the bottom, and it's normally pretty straightforward to figure out who's where. But with the way that all these teams, with how close a lot of these teams are, eh, it's not easy. It's not easy to I mean, there could be a team in the bottom row of the Power Performance Index who is currently in a playoff spot. It's crazy this year. I don't remember it being this condensed. It's insane. So I wanted to look at these. So I wanted to look at the standings here. So we start out here in the West, in the Western Conference. Now, of course, we have Colorado. Of course, the team I'm wearing. Well, yeah, the team I'm wearing basically. They're kind of running away with everything right now. They've played 25 games. They have an 840 points percentage. They have a record of 18, 1, and 6. That is 42 points. 42 points in 18 games. That's insane. That is just unbelievable. So, yeah, they're kind of running away with everything right now. Right behind them, though, is the Dallas Stars. They also have played 25 games with a record of 16, 5, and 4 for 36 points. That equals a 720 points percentage. Craziness. And then in third place, currently in the Central, playing 26 games with a record of 14, 7, and 5 for 33 points is the Minnesota Wild. That equals a 635 points percentage. Pretty darn good. Pretty darn good, I gotta say. And that's coming off a 7-game win streak, and where they ended Colorado's 10-game winning streak. So those are the top three currently in the Central Division as of November 30th. This is for November. This video is being done November 30th. So these are the current standings on November 30th before any games are played here on the 30th. So we move over to the Pacific Division. Currently leading the Pacific Division, shockingly, is the Anaheim Ducks. They've played 24 games. They have a record of 15, 8, and 1 for 31 points. That is a 646 points percentage. Pretty good. I mean, who picked Anaheim at this point coming into the month of December? Who picked Anaheim to be leading that division? I didn't. In second place currently, we have the Los Angeles Kings. They've played 25 games. They have a record of 12, 6, and 7 for 31 points. They are tied points-wise with Anaheim. They have a 620 points percentage. Now, the big thing here with a lot of these and why the points are, and the big reason why I think a lot of these races are so close is the overtime and shootout loss points, because LA has 7 of them. So yeah, 12 wins, 6 regulation losses, and 7 overtime or shootout losses. So that's 7 points in the third column. So yeah, they're tied 31 points with Anaheim. In third place, only behind by a point. Also, played 25 games. They have a record of 11-6-8 for 30 points. 8 overtime or shootout loss points for the Vegas Golden Knights. That is a 600 points percentage. 8 overtime or shootout loss points. That is insane. Now, one thing I do plan after I go looking through this, I'm going to go through here and see exactly how many teams have more losses in overtime or shootout than regulation losses. I think that'll be interesting. I know of at least 3 right offhand. 3 right off the bat here. So that is the top 3 in the Pacific Division. We go down now to the wild card, into the wild card. Currently in the wild card, we have the number 1 wild card is the Seattle Kraken. They've played 24 games. They have a record of 11-7-6 for 28 points and a 583 points percentage. Not bad. First wild card, it's all right. Second wild card, we have the Utah Mammoth. 26 games played, a 12-11-3 record, 27 points for a 519 points percentage. So it shows us how close that is right there. But now we get down into the teams that are just below, that are just out of the wild card. San Jose, 26 games played, a record of 12-11-3, 27 points, an identical record to Utah, a 519 points percentage. Identical record, but Utah right now has the tiebreak. Then we have Edmonton. Edmonton is right there behind San Jose. 26 games played, 11-10-5, 27 points. So we have 3 teams there, 27 points. The one team in the second wild card, and then the 2 teams right behind them. And that's a 519 points percentage. So, very, very close. Then we go right behind Edmonton, we have Winnipeg. They've played 24 games. They have a record of 13-11-0. They have no shootout loss or overtime loss points. 26 points. So, obviously, if they had a few overtime or shootout loss points, I think their record would look a lot better. That's a 542 points percentage. Now, see, that's another interesting thing here too. Is you look at the points percentage here. Winnipeg has a higher points percentage than the 3 teams that are right there. The 1 team that's in the second wild card and the 2 ahead of them. So they have a higher points percentage, but they only have 26 points. Below Winnipeg, right below Winnipeg, is Chicago. 24 games played, a 10-9-5 record, 25 points, a 521 points percentage. Again, it's close. It's very close. Then right below them, we have St. Louis. 26 games played, 9 wins, 10 losses, 7 overtime or shootout loss points, 25 points. That is a 481 points percentage. So again, right there. They're all right there. Then, below St. Louis, 26 games played. We have the Vancouver Canucks. 26 games played, 10-13-3. So 10 wins, 13 regulation losses, and 3 overtime or shootout loss points. 23 points. A points percentage of 442. And then getting up toward the rear here, we have the Calgary Flames. 26 games played, a record of 9-14-3, 21 points. A points percentage of 404. And then bringing up the rear in the Western Conference is the Nashville Predators. 25 games played, 8-13-4 record, 20 points, a 400 points percentage. Look at how condensed this is. The race for the wild card. I mean, you literally have. I mean, you've got Seattle at 28, then you've got Utah, San Jose, and Edmonton all at 27 points. You got Winnipeg at 26 points, Chicago at 25, St. Louis at 25, Vancouver 23, Calgary 21, Nashville 20. Now, granted, Nashville, Calgary, you got to think Nashville, Calgary, and Vancouver, it'd be a long shot for them to get in the playoffs. But I'll tell you what, it's not outside the realm of possibility here for Chicago, Winnipeg, Edmonton, or San Jose to get into here. Utah, San Jose and Edmonton are tied with Utah for the second wild card spot. And those three teams are only 1 point behind Seattle. So, it is crazy. And literally, Seattle 28 points, three teams 1 point behind them. Then you have Winnipeg 2 points behind them. Chicago and St. Louis 3 points behind them. It's crazy. And even Vancouver's only 5 points behind them. And then 7 points for Calgary, 8 points for Nashville. It is crazy. It is. There's no real runaway toward the bottom. They're all right there. It is crazy. We move over here to the East. The Atlantic Division. We finally have a team that's kind of trying to separate themselves in the Atlantic Division. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning. 25 games played, a record of 16-7-2, 34 points. They are on a 7-game winning streak right now. They did not get off to a great start, but they have played incredible on this 7-game win streak. That they have a points percentage of .680. Very good points percentage. You then have, just 4 points behind them, Boston. Boston, by the way, has played more games than any of the teams in the Atlantic Division that they're chasing. Yeah. They've played 2 more games than Tampa has. 27 games played, 15-12-0. So they don't have any overtime or shootout loss points. They have 30 points. They are 4 points behind Tampa Bay. They have played 2 more games than Tampa. The team that is 1 point behind them, they have 3 games in hand on Boston. That's the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens, 24 games played, a record of 13-8-3 for 29 points. That is a .604 points percentage. So they have a much higher points percentage than Boston does. But Boston has a 1 point lead on them. But again, Boston has played 3 more games than Montreal has. So those are the top 3 in the Atlantic. We move over here to the Metro Division, where currently the New Jersey Devils sit first. They've played 25 games. They have a record of 16-8-1, 33 points. A .660 points percentage. Not bad. And that's without Jack Hughes. And that's them being without Jack Hughes, who's going to be out probably for at least another month and a half, probably. After having to have surgery on his hand because he cut himself at a team dinner. I don't know if they were using Cutco knives or whatever, but you got to cut yourself pretty damn good to have to require surgery there. I don't know what he was doing there, but like I said, I don't know if he was using a Cutco knife. Those knives are the sharpest knives you can buy. But yeah, they're maintaining first right now in the Metro without Jack Hughes. So that's really good. That's a credit to the depth that they have right now on their team. Right behind them, though, in second place, 24 games played, is the Carolina Hurricanes. 24 games played, a record of 15-7-2, 32 points. A points percentage of .667. So they have a higher points percentage than New Jersey does. But again, and again, they've played one less game than New Jersey, and they're only 1 point behind them. Then in third place, surprisingly, in third place, currently as of November 30th, is the Philadelphia Flyers. 24 games played, a record of 14-7-3, 31 points. That is a .646 points percentage. Philadelphia is a team that I don't think a lot of people really expected much of. Again, it's amazing. You get a guy like Rick Tocchet behind the bench, and it's amazing what happens when you get a good coach. Because, yeah, Rick Tocchet's got that team playing pretty good right now. And, yeah, they're only 2 points out of first place. And both them and Carolina have played one less game than New Jersey. So they have the game in hand on New Jersey. That is the top three teams in the Metro. Now we go to the wild card. The wild card currently. The number one wild card sits the Washington Capitals. They have a record. They have 25 games played, a record of 14-9-2, 30 points. They have a points percentage of .600. Now, crazy thing is, you go and you look, Washington, they're the number one wild card. They have one more point than Montreal does. But again, different division. Then we look, the number two wild card is the Pittsburgh Penguins. 24 games played, a record of 12-7-5, 29 points. So they have one game in hand on Washington. They have a points percentage of .604. So their points percentage is higher than Washington. This kind of goes to show points percentage doesn't really mean a whole lot. But again, they are 1 point behind Washington. Now, mind you, the two wildcard teams here are from the Metro Division. The two wildcard teams from the West, I believe, are Central teams. I think. Let me see. Seattle is in. Nope. That's 4-4. Okay. So we have. So in the West, we have 1-1. Seattle is in the Pacific Division. Utah is in the Central Division. So yeah, we have four. We currently out West have 4-4. In the East right now, we've got 5-3. We've got 5 teams from the Metro in the playoffs right now. But again, it just goes to show, look at how close the 5 teams in the Metro are. New Jersey leads the division with 33 points. Pittsburgh, who is 5th, has 29. So that's only 4 points. Then we move right below the wild card. We have another Metro Division team, the New York Islanders. 25 games played, a record of 13-9-3, 29 points, a .580 points percentage. They have played one more game than Pittsburgh. Now they are tied in points, but Pittsburgh has the tiebreak right now. Then, right below the New York Islanders, you have the Ottawa Senators. 24 games played, a record of 12-8-4. 28 points, a .583 points percentage. So again, their points percentage is higher than the Islanders, even though they're a point behind them. Then, right below Ottawa, we have Detroit. Detroit, 26 games played, So they've played 2 more games than Ottawa has. Their record is 13-11-2, 28 points. Shows again just how close the points are here. A .538 points percentage, 26 games played. Then we move to right behind Detroit. We have the New York Rangers, 27 games played. So they have played as many games as Boston has. So they've played at least 2 or 3 more games than most of these other teams that they're trying to chase down. But the Rangers, 13-12-2, 28 points. A points percentage of .519. Not horrible, but not the greatest. Then we have Columbus, 25 games played, a record of 11-9-5, 27 points, a .540 points percentage. So again, their points percentage is higher than both the Rangers and Detroit. Then right below Columbus, we have the reigning, defending 2-time Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. 24 games played, 12-11-1, 25 points, a .521 points percentage. Now again, a lot of people can point to the fact that Florida, two of their best players have been out since the start of the year. One is out for basically the entire regular season. The other one, Matthew Tkachuk, he's just starting to start skating again. So we should be seeing him potentially maybe before Christmas, maybe a little after, somewhere in there. We gotta think we're gonna be seeing him soon, probably within the next maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks. That I think will be a big boost to the Florida Panthers. But even the Panthers, they're not that far behind. Then we have the Toronto Maple Leafs. 25 games played, 11-11-3, 25 points. They are right at NHL 500, a 500 points percentage. 25 points, 25 games played. So again, they have played 1 more game than Florida. Florida, who has played 3 more games than the New York Rangers, or 3 less games than the New York Rangers, and they've played 1 less game than Columbus has. 2 less games than Detroit. And then we go from Toronto, we move down to the team that is in last place, and that is the Buffalo Sabres. 25 games played, 10-11-4, 24 points. So, not horrible. It's not a horrible record. I mean, they don't have a horrible record. But again, 24 points. That is a .480 points percentage. But I mean, if we look at this, it's a little more. I mean, it's a 7-point difference here between Nashville and Utah in the West. That's 7 points between last place and the number 2 wild card. We look over here in the East, it is only a 5-point difference from being last in the East to a playoff to the number 2 wild card. So, and I mean, if you look, Columbus, Washington's played 25 games, Pittsburgh's played 24, the Islanders have played 25, Ottawa's played 24, Detroit's played 26, the Rangers have played 27. So I mean, if there's 2 teams that are at a real disadvantage here, it is the Rangers and Detroit, because they have played 2 more, they have played 2 more games. Well, okay, that's that just died. Okay. But so yeah, that is a big disadvantage that the Red Wings and the Rangers are currently facing, because they have played at least 2, if not 3 games more than a lot of these other teams. But I mean, and if we take a look here at the teams who have lost more regulation, or have lost more games in overtime or shootout losses than regulation, let's take a look here. The Colorado Avalanche, they've lost more overtime or shootout losses than regular season games. Then we have the LA Kings, the Vegas Golden Knights. They both have lost 6 games in regulation, but they've lost 7 and 8 respectively in overtime or shootout. And then I think those are the only teams actually that we have that have lost more games in overtime or shootout. Because Dallas has only lost 4, Minnesota's lost 5. Yeah, Seattle's close. Seattle's 11-7-6. So Seattle's right there. But they still haven't lost more games in overtime or a shootout than regulation wins. But I mean, if you go and you look at these, look at how close this is. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy here, what we're seeing. And just it's insane just how close these teams are from becoming potential playoff teams. I mean, you have a 5-point difference between Buffalo and Pittsburgh. That's the difference between being last in the East and a playoff team. This is how close this is. I mean, you look at the 2 Metro teams here. Look how close they are here. Pittsburgh is 5th in the Metro, but they're only 4 points out of first. This is probably right now one of the closest regular seasons I've seen at this point, where all the teams are just right there. I mean, they're just all there's not one team that's totally out of it. They're all in it here. We're only 2 months into the season here. You have to think at some point there will be a little degree of separation as the season goes on. There will probably start being some separation between the teams at the bottom of the conferences and the playoff teams. But as of right now, there isn't. And this is fun. This is fun to see, because you're looking at some of these teams, almost anybody could get in. Anybody could get in right now at this point. It is fun to watch. It is cool. And who of the teams right now that are not in a playoff spot, who do you think can get in? Who do you think might have the chance to sneak in here if they go on some kind of a run? Can Buffalo do it? What about Toronto? Florida. I'm fully expecting Florida. I totally expect Florida. I cannot imagine the reigning 2-time defending Stanley Cup champions not making the playoffs. I can't not see that happening. But again, we're only 2 months into the season. It's a lot of season left. This will be fun to see what the separation will be here. Or do we get lucky and it stays like this throughout a good majority of the season? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Which of these teams do you think can sneak up on people and maybe find their way into a playoff spot? I'd love to know what you guys think. Could Chicago get in? You know, could Buffalo? I don't know. They're all that close right now. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Who do you think's got the chance? Who do you think could get in? Who could shock the world here and make the playoffs when nobody expects them to? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button. That would be greatly appreciated. It definitely helps out the channel. Also, subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. I would love you if you did that. With your guys' help, if we can get the channel to 5,000 subscribers, we will do a live video, and you guys will get to see an egg smashed over my head, or a couple. So, you know, everybody can get a good laugh out of it. So, if we can get the channel to 5,000 subscribers, that will happen. But also, too, hit the little notification bell. That should notify you when videos are uploaded. It should. YouTube can be a little weird sometimes. Sometimes they don't. Who knows? But also too, share this video. Share any video from the channel that you want to share. Go ahead and share it with everybody that you know. And again, with your guys' help, we can get the channel to 5,000 subscribers. We will do a live, and you guys can get to have a good laugh seeing a couple of eggs smashed over my head. That in itself, I think is worth getting the channel to 5,000 subscribers. So, with your guys' help, let's make that happen. But again, let me know what you guys think of who could surprise people, and who's, you know, nobody's really out of it right now. Nobody is completely out of it at this point. But again, let me know in the comments, who do you think could sneak up into a spot, and do you think that it will be like this for the entire season, or do you think at some point you'll start to get a little degree of separation in the conferences? Let me know in the comments your guys' opinion. Like, comment, subscribe, share the videos, and again, with your guys' help, 5,000 subscribers, you'll get to see live an egg smashing on my head. So subscribe just for that reason. And yes, by all means, share the videos. And yeah, this is fun. This is fun this year so far. So again, like, comment, subscribe, share the videos. I will see you guys later.